Too long didn't read. The three of us are starting a new company, and it's important because we want you to be involved. So where do we want to start?
Every single week we put this episode on, and every single week we talk about our incredible partners that help us do that, because there is a lot of stuff that goes on to get this thing out. So first up, we wanted to thank Multicraft. Now, Dave at Multicraft has an Instagram. It's multicraft_daddy. And he actually just put out this video. Did you see this? Or he was actually like picked the winner, like spun the wheel and stuff, and picked the winner, and he gave a bunch of PMI tape too. So
Dave,
if you DM multicraft_daddy with your email address, he's sending out gifts every single week. Multicraft has been around for 50 plus years, providing the industry with top brands at competitive pricing. You can mention the pod. That gets you 10% off your first order. They are there. They're a partner. They're very helpful to help you continue growing your business.
Bruce, guess where I will be when this episode airs?
Honduras.
I will be with the great folks at Graphic Source in Honduras. And that will be a really cool trip that we'll have to debrief after the fact. Graphic Source is an anchor at Campus Ink. They run our entire art department, a lot of our back office work. And if you need a solution to improve efficiency and reduce costs in your art department, you should absolutely hit them up. They offer industry-leading outsource options for your shop by truly becoming a part of your team. They plug and play with Printavo, other shop management softwares. And when it comes to SEPs, mockups, creative art, order management, embroidery, digitizing, back office admin, and customer service, there's no better company in our industry to work with. They have over 40 years in the game. They really get it. And they have a proven track record of success. They will literally outline how your screens should be burned and will know exactly what press you have. And they will make sure that all of your SEPs are beautiful. Use the code PrintavoPod24 for 50% off your first vector, SEP, or embroidery order. This time of the year, it's all about making sure you get on their list so that you can get a new artist in the new year. Hit them up. Thanks so much, Graphic Source.
Easy Way. Spending hours cleaning dirty screens is a thing of the past with Easy Way screen printing and screen cleaning chemicals. Their innovative formulas are designed to work quickly and effectively, so you could spend less time cleaning, more time creating. Campus Ink, big Easy Way shop as well. Alex and the team are super helpful. They're very passionate about all this stuff. I mean, they're manufacturing all kinds of really cool stuff. And they've got tons of really cool resources on easyway.com and advice to be able to help. So if you're stuck, reach out.
Thanks so much, Easy Way. Bruce, I want to tell you about the best new software platform to hit our industry. It's called DGI Apparel, and it was built by a group of MIT engineers that recently left Y Combinator, one of the largest tech accelerators in the world, to build a solution for the screen printing industry. DGI allows you to connect your accounts with Sanmar, Alphabroder, SNS, and more to compare prices. I think just last week, you can even buy PMI tape directly on there, and they're adding a ton of different apparel suppliers every week. The average shop spends 2 hours purchasing every day, and DGI will cut that time in half, and you won't need 2 computer screens, so half the amount of screens. Ask yourself, what would you do with an extra hour every day and an extra computer screen you don't have to use? And you know what's funny is they don't have a promo code for DGI because it's free. It's always going to be free. And that's right. It costs $0 forever. So if you're not already using DGI, you're wasting your own time and money. Sign up today at dgiapparel.com and join 1,500 other shops that are saving time and money on their purchasing. We use DGI every single day. And I tell you, it's pretty freaking sweet. So hit them up and tell them we sent you. Last but not least, we have BMac Industries and DTF Superstore. BMac Industries is a leader in innovative solutions for the DTF printing industry. They're dedicated to providing top-of-the-line equipment and technology that enhances productivity and quality. They have a commitment to excellence, and they continue to push the boundaries of what's possible in garment decoration. If you have a DTF printer, you should get a BMac dryer. Ours just got delivered a couple of weeks ago, and this thing is a tank. It's beautifully built here in the United States. And support DTF Superstore. They also are involved with things like dtfprinting.com. So thanks so much, DTF Superstore, for all your help and support. We just had a tech out to help us out, spent 2 days with us, trained our entire team. It was awesome. So thanks so much.
That's awesome. All right, let's jump on in.
Or the episode could be like Kevin could say, "What up, print hustlers? This one's going to be different today." That'd be really funny. Do you want to do that, Kevin?
Yeah. What up, print hustlers? This one's going to be a little bit different today.
You got to say it with more fire.
Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Yeah.
It's got to have some Bruce zhuzh. It's got to have some zhuzh.
What up, print hustlers?
That's not it.
What?
Dude, that was it. There it was. All right, print hustlers, welcome back to the show. Today we've got a very different one, but we're just chit-chatting. How do you want to kick this off, Stephen? I think it all begins with your office, your beautiful Campus Ink office, where we spent just about a full day working together.
Too long didn't read. The three of us are starting a new company, and it's important because we want you to be involved. So where do we want to start?
I think where we start is, first of all, it's called Fabric. It's at Fabric.ink. But I think where we want to start is what we've observed over the last 7 years. I mean, first of all, we've been doing this show there's 275 or 280 or something episodes of this show. So we've gotten to talk to so many different guests. And at the same time, we as owners have also been looking for the best way to improve our business. I mean, I think we're like probably overly obsessed with optimizing our business constantly. And maybe that's like, sometimes it's coaches, sometimes it's podcasts, sometimes it's blogs, sometimes it's just like we're sharing all kinds of articles all the time. And it seemed like maybe there was just a better way that we can help the community be able to grow all together and combine all of these resources together. Is that an okay intro?
You've just got everyone sitting on the edge of their seats. What the hell is this?
I think the problem that we're trying to solve for is that in our industry, there are really popular Facebook groups and Discords and Slack channels and text chains, and a lot of shop owners connect and communicate, and we learn from one another. And what I love about this industry is, I always say it's incestuous, but incestuous in a good way, that everyone like shares and helps and provides support. And I think you two are catalysts of that. I think this podcast and other podcasts, you all have helped this industry like stay close knit and be really thoughtful and helpful for one another. So I think we saw this problem in the industry about not finding a way to like continue that and meld together. So what Fabric is connecting shops. Let's get into the details. Let's talk about like what we're going to do.
Sure. And I think you say this new company, the way I view it is it's a membership community. So very specifically, what we want to allow for and what we have found to be most helpful for our businesses is the ability to meet with a small group of also progressive business owners, in this case, shop owners, and with a professional facilitator to help guide that experience together. Now, when we have done this in the past, it's kind of difficult because either A, you're not in the same industry, so it's hard to compare notes, or B, they don't hold you accountable fully for different goals that you want to set. And C, you don't be able to pull, different knowledge shares well enough from other owners. And so that's what really we're trying to create, is a group that you can learn and grow with. They're in sort of similar size as you, sort of similar business as you, but it's your coach, it's your guide, it's being ran by someone that can hold the business accountable. Now, I want to dive into that more, but Stephen, I know you've got some things too on this.
Yeah, so like as Kevin alluded to, the relationships in this industry propel us all forward. I have so many. I have a Slack channel with some shops. I have a Facebook chat with a bunch of shops. I have a text group with a bunch of shops. There's screen printing forums. And at different times, some of them are super valuable. Sometimes they're fragmented. Sometimes they're all over the place. in the last couple of years, we have spent a little bit of time outside the industry in some professional networks to get professional help, be it monthly coaching, consulting. And what we found was in those groups, we kept coming back to it and saying, why isn't there something for this in the industry? Why can't I meet with a group of shops every month with a coach or a facilitator or someone that is super well experienced in business and guide a discussion for a couple of hours and have a sounding board or an advisory board and work on really hard problems like in a vulnerable state? And we just recognize like that did not exist. And I think from meeting everyone and all of our different experiences, we're like, okay, I think the writing's on the wall, friends. We have to do something like this.
I want to expand on some of that, like the impact that we've seen these groups have. So Bruce and Steven have been members as CEOs or founders of these businesses. And I've also been a facilitator for some of these groups. So the value that I see in being able to facilitate the conversations and that Bruce and Steven have had of being involved in the conversations is the core challenges and issues and concerns that you have in your business. Now having that peer group to be able to share their insights as to when they encountered that problem, how they overcame it. It's not like a coach saying, hey, here's what you should do. And maybe they didn't experience that same problem. If we get 8 shops together in a room talking about a problem or challenge one faces, high probability that someone in that room is going to have experienced that same exact problem. So I think like that knowledge share is super critical. I think accountability is one portion of Fabric that we're really going to hold true to. And I think Steven's done a great job in this in his consulting projects. And I think I have as well of like, what do you need to do week in, week out, month in, month out from a financial perspective, from a reporting perspective, from specific actions and these most important things that you can do to propel and move your business forward. I see that as a really, really critical part of Fabric and making sure that we're adding value every single meeting and that the shop owners are taking a lot out of this. Stephen and Bruce and I also talked about like having that tribe, having the people there to connect to. And I think it's the reason why those Facebook groups and Discord channels exist. It's like, we want to stay connected, but even more like, I think more than anything, it's how do we get to peak performance? How do we drive our shop to that next level and really push the effectiveness of what we're doing and lean on one another to hold ourselves accountable and lean on that facilitator to hold ourselves accountable to doing that.
And it's one of those things where, so Kevin has been coaching our shop for 5 years, 6 years. I can't count anymore. And he holds me accountable. He holds our business accountable. And it's a great one-to-one relationship. And Kevin's had the ability to do that one-to-one with hundreds of shops. In the last year, I've started doing that with a handful of shops, like over a dozen shops in the last year. And, as I thought about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, these problems are all very, very similar, right? But not everyone has access to one-to-one coaching or one-to-one accountability. And so it's like, okay, could we do this in more of a group setting where we track AOV and we track gross profit and, we actually tell the group, I'm going to do this by next month and you're going to all hold me accountable to it, right? And I think that's probably the part that I'm most excited about is like group accountability. It's like getting a personal trainer, but kind of like group training, I guess, a little bit. It's like CrossFit. Is it CrossFit?
I feel like I have experienced some of the most growth when I'm also being held accountable, like you said. Like when someone is, okay, what are the goals you want to set? And it doesn't have to be numbers wise. It literally can be, I want to start my day focusing on hiring a new head of sales, or I want to send outreach or send kits to 10 people a week. Okay, great. I set this goal. Next meeting, did we accomplish this? And going around a circle. And those groups that I've been in where we are being held accountable as owners. And Steven, you talk about this where it's like, yeah, that you don't report to anyone as an owner. And that's nice, but it's also nice to have someone that's pushing you a bit more too. And it's been a huge benefit to be in that circle where everyone is being able to hit those goals together and being able to knowledge share and be able to achieve the goals that they want. And again, sometimes financial, sometimes not financial, but just as a similar shop owner, as a business owner, sharing that experience has been really special.
Kevin, can you talk about what the three of us? So, as most of you know who listen, Kevin, Bruce, and I are extremely close, like the bestest of friends. We travel together. Our text thread is, nonstop. Can you talk about what we do as a monthly group to hold each other accountable? Because we started this in January, and I think this would be really interesting to talk about what the three of us do internally as a group.
Some of what we've done to hold ourselves accountable has relayed into this thought, need, and idea to build this for the screen printing industry. So yeah, for sure. In January, we started doing like a goal setting exercise where we all put together. We broke it down into like the framework that I usually follow is the 5 F's: fitness, fun, family, financial, and business, even though business isn't enough.
It's four
F's in business.
Four FB.
Yeah. So, and so we each put together this list of, in those categories, what's most important to us and what we wanted to accomplish in 2025. And then at the end of the month, we would meet for like 2.5 hours and we would go through each month what we hit and what we accomplished and what we didn't hit and what we didn't accomplish. And it rings through in a lot of the conversations we have. So like, yes, we're friends, but we're also like, hey, Bruce, did you put your phone down after 9 p.m. every night? Hey, Steven, did you get that run in? Hey, Kevin, did you actually get a workout in the morning? Like, we hold ourselves accountable to doing those things that we know are really important to us personally. And I think that connection and that accountability that we've had for one another is part of the focus of what we want Fabric to be.
Yeah. And I think one of those components is like I put, fitness and there's like personal stuff on there. And even on my goal thing was like, stop drinking so much Diet Coke. And every month we would bring it up and I'd be like, I only had like 5 or 6 this month. Right. And it's something so silly, but it could even be like, stop working after 6 p.m. Like only visit Champagne in the production facility 4 times a month. And so every month we'd say, okay, Steven, how many times did you visit? Right. And so I would call it like accountability buddies. Accountability
buddies.
Bruce, you were going to say something.
I wanted to give an example schedule of what we found really works for meetings. So, okay, these are monthly meetings ran by a professional facilitator. We'll have expert speakers come in, but what does an example meeting look like for a month? So, a rough example that you can look forward to is something where it starts off with some sort of knowledge share, experience share, something that you learned in the past month, something that you read, a video that you watched, something that you picked up that you could share with the group. Those are always very interesting because people always cruise in different parts of the internet or in parts of their business. The next thing, a goals check-in. So the goals that we had set before in that first and second meeting, how are we doing? Are you on it or not? And my experience is you probably miss the first few. You probably aren't the best. And then, but then you don't want to get embarrassed. And that's what I found is like, you really don't want to get called out for the second or third time in a row. And so you're on it and you'll do what it takes to get it done. And that's where I feel the magic starts to kick in. You're also able to ask a question. So look, here's my what's called life check-in, business check-in. What are the top 5, bottom 5% of things that are happening over the past month? So business and personally, the best things and the worst things. Give us the updates. And this starts to create a really strong bond around the group. And then at the bottom of there's generally some sort of question, right? There's like this has been a really big challenge. And I'm just curious to ask the group, how would you handle it? And that's a great time to spend some 15 minutes or so going around and answering that and being able to really dive into, how to rethink this so that you could take this back and apply that. And then generally from there's some different unique business owner specific exercises that we can go through. Some things are a share of, I've seen one that if someone's really not doing well, what are the things that we're thankful for? A skill teaching episode. So example, I've seen a shop owner get into real estate and be really good about buying their building or expanding real estate portfolio. How do you do that? How do you even get involved in that? I've seen another one where it's longer term thinking. How do we start to set a plan for a 10-year goal? Very traction oriented, EOS oriented, right? And then how does that back into what we're doing today? So we have a little bit longer vision instead of just plowing forward week to week, putting out fires. And then at the end, what worked in this meeting, what didn't work, so we can be able to improve the next one. And so that's what we'd like to really be able to target, about a 2-hour session together, and really let that magic happen to help us all improve our businesses.
When I've done this in the past, the first meeting is awkward. It's like, your
awkward.
First day at school. And then things start to warm up a little bit. And then at a certain point, some of these like bonds start to form based on just trust, because it is a very private group, meaning, you don't disclose anything about other group members. Like there's a little, little pact there, but they become your advisory board. And so in the groups that I've been in, I have 7 or 8 other people. And in my instance, they were in all other industries. And I could say, guys, you're my board today. This is the problem. Do we want to hire this employee? I need to fire this person. I don't know how to spend this or that. And I would just put my business like wounded, like on the table and just ask for help. And within 20 or 30 minutes, you're just flooded with ideas and thoughts and comfort and support. And, like when that happens month after month, it starts to feel a little less lonely, I think is one of the coolest parts. And so one of the aspects of having, another group of shops that is not, is not going to be like a competitor, right? Granted, we're all competitors. But Kevin, do you want to talk about like how we're going to create the groups, facilitate them, those kind of things?
Yeah, I think structure of would be important. And to Stephen's comment, like I've seen that firsthand in the Sales.ink membership community that I've created. There are those bonds. There are the connection between the team members. And a few meetings in, you start to hear, I was talking to this other member. So there's connections and conversation that happen outside of the core group meetings. But as far as how we're going to structure this, so our thought is to have, 8 to 10 individual shop owners of similar size and structure. So we're not going to have a shop that's doing 500,000 in revenue and a shop that's doing 5 million in the same group. We want to connect and make sure that the similar structure shops and similar revenue shops, so that we can both lend value to others and learn from them as well. The thought is an annual paid membership to the community. And we run these monthly facilitated, as Bruce mentioned, 2-hour meetings. So we'll bring on and hire expert facilitators and business coaches that do this for a living, that run other groups and other membership communities that will facilitate these really structured discussions. I think Bruce laid it out pretty well of the specific agendas and the structures of these meetings, again, with that core goal of helping us all improve and get better. And then, in non-competitive geography. So we wouldn't have 3 shops in Chicago in the same group. We want to make sure that everybody's really open to sharing as much as possible. Yes, we all are kind of competitors, but we don't want shops in backyards to be in the same group. So what Bruce and Stephen and I are committed to is really curating the groups and making sure that they meld together. And because we've all had experience in this, we've seen when groups work well together, when a lot of these demographics and psychographics meet up, they perform at a really high level. So we're going to spend a lot of time, effort, and focus on making sure that these groups are curated really, really well. And
I think that's where, guys, we've been working on this for maybe a year, almost talking about it for a year.
We've been talking about it for a year for sure.
And one of the things we talked about is like group curation, and that it's not about just going to as many members as possible and just getting everyone in there. Like, no. If, to start, maybe we limit it to just a really small group of, maybe 30 shops or something, make sure those are running really well. And so, there is going to be an application, and that application is going to help us understand if it's a right fit right now. Because the last thing we want to do is just shove a bunch of people in a group and, just hope that it works. I think there's a lot of thoughtfulness that is going to be put into, okay, there's a really good group right there. I think we're ready to run a group, right? And that might take some time. And so if you apply right away, I can't promise like, okay, you're going to get in right away. It's not that you're not qualified. It's that we want to make sure it's the right time, place, and that there's going to be a good group for you.
On top of that application, Bruce, Steven, and I also individually each are going to do interviews. One of us will do an interview with each of the applicants to dive deeper into that app and make sure that this person is the right fit for the group that we have in mind for them. Yeah, highly vetted.
And I think like we've all been part of the Facebook groups that are like toxic. And I think there's going to be little to no tolerance for that kind of behavior, meaning, like a discretionary agreement of you're not going to share stuff that your group talks about, right? You're going to support the group and be active. You're going to make all of your meetings, meaning, if you miss meetings, you're letting down your group, and that's not going to be acceptable. And so it's going to be one of those things where we really want it to be bespoke and really, really thoughtful and genuine and authentic when we're making it.
So Fabric.ink.
Another .ink production.
.ink, that is.
.ink.
I mean, I think naturally it's the best next step to being able to help the industry as a whole. And especially as we've been testing it internally, it's been powerful. It once you get in their routine, it's been really powerful. So excited for everyone to be able to try this experience and be able to go through it together.
What's really interesting is, I'm from the industry. Kevin's not from the industry. And so Kevin's had a ton of experience in a lot of other industries, growing a lot of other companies. And Bruce is from the industry, but kind of comes from a different angle of it. As he's obviously built Printavo and had a lot of success there and has been inside so many shops. And so because of their experience now, like outside of the industry, their connections, their networks, in their kind of space, our hope is that we can bring those experts into our space a little bit and do more of what Kevin does for us, right? Bruce, you meet so many new founders and people that are building, in different geographies and different industries. And when you introduce them to me, I'm like, oh, shoot, that's super cool. And so I think it'll be really cool for the both of you to draw on a lot of your external experiences.
I think this is going to air right before Long Beach Impressions. We'll all be there. Stop us, say hi, ask us questions about it. We'd love to chat more about Fabric and if it's the right fit for you and how we can help you grow.
All right, print hustlers, we appreciate you hanging on, listening. Excited to be able to share more about Fabric in the future. And for Kevin, Steven, and I, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully that was informative. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications if you enjoyed this video. If you enjoy all the stuff we're putting out, it's really helpful. We love to just be able to see it. That means that we're doing a good job. To subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and hit the like button. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.